Hey, it's Dr. J. Um, I've received a ton of emails about this particular problem. Apparently, on my previous video, I didn't do one in which the x coordinate is something other than 1 or 0. So I'm doing a problem where we're finding an exponential function in which the points are not quite as nice as they were in the previous videos. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into this. You're going to start off by taking your model. Now, in the beginning of this section, I basically tell you what the model is. You know how I like to rewrite the function form as y equals form. It makes it a lot easier. And so basically, you're going to set up two equations. You have your x1 and your y1. You've got your x2 and your y2. And you're going to make two equations. All right. So the first one is going to be 4/5 equals CA to the negative 1. All right. Your second equation is going to be 500 equals CA cubed. Now, we're going to put the second equation on hold for a second. And we're going to solve the first equation in terms of either C or A. I like to solve for C. So solve this guy for C. Now remember, a negative power just means a reciprocal, right? So that's going to be C over A. Yeah, technically it's A to the first, right? Because you're sending it down to the denominator and making the exponent positive. Right? We've already done that before. I'm not going to write the 1 because it's not necessary. All right, I want to solve this for C. And it should be relatively easy. We're just going to multiply both sides by A. Not even showing up. No, that's not a very good color. Let's try this pink here. Multiply both sides by A. That's not showing up either, is it? So much for color. I'm going to use the same color. This is my favorite pen. So multiply both sides by A. And you're going to get your C is 4A over 5. All right. And then we're going to use the classic substitution method. Call this a substitute or a sub. So we're going to sub in this value for C. So that's going to be 4A over 5. And then we get 500 equals 4A to the 4th. Now, maybe it is nice to write that invisible 1 because it's 4A to the 4th. Now you're going to add the powers over 5. Okay. And now you solve this for A. So we got to get A by itself here. Let's multiply both sides by 5. So you get 2,500 equals 4A to the 4th. Divide both sides by 4. Come on up here. I'm all out of room. So I've got 2,500 over 4 equals A to the 4th. Yeah. Normally I would write it this way. A to the 4th is equal to 2,500 over 4. I'm right-handed. I like to see it written on the right hand. So now we need to find the 4th root of 2,500 over 4. Now I'm hoping that this is divisible. Yeah. What is 2,500 divided by 4? Well, 2,500 divided by 2, I don't have a calculator handy, is 1,250. So that'll be 1,250 over 2. So A to the 4th would be 725. Is that right? No, 625. There we go. Mental math, right? I really should bring a calculator. It's sitting here on my table. So we got 625. If with a calculator, I'm sure you all at home could just jump right to there with a calculator or with very good mental math. All right, there we go. So a to the fourth is 625. You know, in my previous video, it just came out to be a to the first, and so that's the reason why I'm doing this video. So whichever power you have, use the appropriate root. So for a fourth power, you're going to use a fourth root. And you all know if that was a second power, you'd use a square root. If it was a third power, you use a cube root, etc., etc. So the fourth root of 625, I believe, is 5. Yeah, but again, I'm just using mental math here. Let's check. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5 is 625. So it does, in fact, check out. Again, use a calculator if your mental math is a little sketchy, or if you just are lazy and don't want to actually do it in your mind. All right, so there's our A. Right? And remember, whenever we have a substitute, the substitute serves two purposes. It eliminates one of the variables, right? That's the substitution method. But then it also provides you a free answer at the end. The substitute will automatically tell you what the other variable is, right? If you set this up neatly, right? So you just take your A value, sub it back into here, and now you know your C value. Sometimes I refer to that as a buy one, get one free. So if you solve this one, you get the other one for free. So we're going to sub in A here. So C is equal to, I'm going to write it the traditional way. I'm going to put my C on this side. 4 times 5 divided by 5. You could just cancel the 5s and say it's 4. Or you can actually multiply it, 20 divided by 5, and either way you still get 4. All right, so those are your ingredients. All right, you got your A and you got your C. Now you come back here, so your final answer is f of x is C, which is 4 times 5 to the x. Right. Or sometimes I like to write it as 4 parentheses 5 to the x. Either one is fine with me, but do not multiply the 4 and the 5. Right. I have seen students go through this whole process. They get the A, they get the C, they go to plug them in, and then their childhood brain kicks in. They go 4 times 5 is 20, and then they just ruin the whole thing by multiplying the 4 and the 5. So don't actually do that. Keep them separate. The model is CA. C is the constant, A is the base, and they have to stay separate. So that is your final answer. I want to keep this video short, so until we meet again, this is Dr. Jordan. I'll see you on the internet.